Yo! Yo! Dudes, this is insane! Oh my god, I just unplugged my head cords. It's just like... Yo! 177 views! Oh my god! Bruh! GG fandom! At first I was checking the view count of Stephen Bomb 5 teasers, and it was at 110 on the thing for my channel viewer, because I always have that open on my tabs. Then I go to open it, and it's 177. Yo! You guys rock! Like, seriously! Like, I'm currently working on another theory. It has to do with bismuth. You're gonna see it in my next video after this, but I figure I'd just throw this one up there if I don't throw this in that theory video. But just a shout out to all the fans that punched that like button into next week and watched the video. Oh my god, you guys are amazing. Raw! You guys kick ass! Yeah! Alright, thank you kindly. Thank you all. I shall see you either, if this is going to be in the next video, I shall see you in a moment about the theory, and if not, then link to theory video here at some point when it goes up. Until then, peace out, and keep watching the videos because there's more to come. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. You're here for the video on the theory, and, well, let's begin. First and foremost, we must ask this very essential question. What is bismuth? Well, if I just pull up the wiki right here, I could give you, hopefully, the correct textbook the correct textbook definition. And tell you exactly what bismuth is. According to Wikipedia, bismuth is a chemical element with the symbol B, capital B, lowercase I, and the atomic number 83. Bismuth, a prevalent post-transition metal, chemically resembles arsenic and antimony. Elemental bismuth may occur naturally, though its sulfured and oxide from important commercial ores. The free element is 86% as dense as lead. It is a brittle metal with a silvery white color when freshly produced, but is often seen in the air with a pink tinge owing to the surface oxidation. Bismuth is mostly naturally diamagnetic element and has one of the lowest values of thermal conductivity among metals. Bismuth metal has been known since ancient times, although until the 18th century it was often confused with lead and tin, which share some physical properties. Etymology is uncertain, but possibility comes from the Arabic by ismid, meaning having the same properties of entomology, or the German word Wiesenmassen or Bismuth, white mass, translated into in the mid 16th century to New Latin bismutum. Bismuth has long been considered has an element with the highest atomic mass that is stable. However, in 2003, it was discovered to be weakly radioactive. Its only primordial isotope bismuth 209 decays via alpha decay with a half-life of more than 1,000,000,000 times the estimated age of the universe. God damn, that takes forever. Bismuth compounds account for about half the production of bismuth. They are used for cosmetics, pigments, and a few pharmaceuticals. Notably, bismuth's subsilicate, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, used to treat diarrhea. Well, that's a shitty joke if I've ever heard one. Bismuth's usual properties to expand upon freezing is responsible for some of its uses, such as the case of printing type. Bismuth has been known it has unusually low toxicity for a heavy metal. Yes, it is a heavy metal. As the toxicity of lead has become more apparent in recent years, there is an increased use of bismuth alloys, present about a third of bismuth production as a replacement for lead. So that is the entire top description of bismuth. Now, where did it go? Diamagnetic mean? Well, to sum it up, it is a semiconductor, from what I've come to understand. When put under strain, generates small amounts of electricity and is a bit has unique electromagnetic properties. I'm not sure exactly what those properties are, however, sadly. But bismuth crystal is the most famous of them. See, that's the atomic symbol. But yes, if you've ever seen a bismuth crystal, which is still technically a metal, you'll know that it's multicolored, very, very colorful, very, very bright. This has a variety of things to do with the way it cools. It is, God, I'm trying to remember the smithing term, the temper of the metal when you pull it out of its molten liquid body when you're making the said crystal. It could be anything. It's basically every shade of light in the spectrum that is visible, from pink and purple to yellow and green to blue and red. It's everything from start to finish, from the end of the ultraviolet to the thermal spectrum. I hope I got those right. So it's very interesting. The crystalline structure, according to Wikipedia, which I have right here, is rhombohedral, meaning that it forms boxes, spiraling boxes. Now, what does this have to do with the show? I know I've gotten 6 minutes into explain what the real world bismuth does, but what does this have to do with the show? Well, if the writers have anything to do with science whatsoever and have been known to use real-world characteristics in a character or object's relation to its show version, then some of these may be applicable. Now, bismuth crystal is not naturally found. It is only created man-made. According to Wikipedia, artificially grown bismuth crystals illustrating the stair-step crystal structure with a 1 cubic centimeter cube of bismuth metal to represent exactly how big these crystals can get when given enough time in the cooker. Now, what does this have to do with the characteristics of the bismuth crystal that we see? Well, we can infer, given that it's in a bubble, that if it is a character, it had information so dangerous, if it's a completely separate character, information so dangerous, or abilities so powerful, that not even all the crystal gems fused together could take it down easily. Or, what I think it could be, a very, very potent weapon. Think of it like this. The gem equivalent of weapons grade nuclear uranium or plutonium. Yeah. That's what I think it could be. Could. That is, if it's not Lion himself. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, that theory comes from Cartoon Universe, stating that Lion could be a gem of sorts, and that he is the only successful attempt to artificially create a quick gem that Rose may have had. There are plenty of mad scientist theories out there painting Rose Quartz as some kind of psychopath. And I'm not going to delve into those because those don't really have a lot based on canon information yet. But what do I mean by weapon? Well, if it was a weapon, how would it be used? Well, if it is like the gem equivalent of weapons grade uranium, anyone who touched it or came in contact with said crystalline structure could, in theory, be corrupted. And that would explain the ridiculous amounts of corrupted gems that we see. Now, if you ask me, it kind of makes sense. It helps fill in the blanks. That's just my theory. But I really don't think it would be that easy. The way I figured it would be used, if it is such a creation, would be as follows. It's towards the end of the rebellion, right? Homeworld's in retreat, getting its soldiers out. And they want to make sure that there's plenty of monsters to terrorize Earth, so that they may remount an assault some years from now with these corrupted gems running amok, having taken care of the last of the rebels. And possibly us humans as well, because we've been known to be pretty damn good at extinguishing our own lives. If we ever had a common enemy, we'd pretty easily band together to knock them out. Fairly certain on that. However, continuing on, we can also infer that bismuth on its own, in theory, would not be strong enough to deal out the number of corrupted gems. Now, this is going to tie into another theory, that the temple statue, the crystal temple statue, is a fusion of the 4 crystal gems: rose, amethyst, pearl, and garnet, which is technically 5 gems. Now, if you ask me, this makes sense. If this were the case. And admittedly, there's not a whole lot to back this up. Just a image of what appears to be a man-made bismuth crystal in a rose quartz bubble inside Lion's pocket dimension. That's as best I can gather at this point. But getting back to the point of it not being strong enough on its own. Well, what do you do if you have a weapon that's strong enough to do a couple of gems at a time, but not enough to take out an entire army, per se? Well, what you do, you make a signal generator. Make it go all over the place, as far as you can. Make it affect as many as you can. As many as possible, if you ask me. Now, this would explain the reason why the homeworld warps are broken. Because perhaps they were sending these things through the warp pads on a regular basis to try and corrupt as many gems as possible. So it could be one of the reasons why the gems purposely broke the Homeworld warp, not only to cut ties with Homeworld, but in order to prevent them from sending more of these weapons, should that have been the case. That's what I think it was. The plan from there, if I were Yellow Diamond or Blue Diamond or even White Diamond, should that diamond still be alive, would be to continue on and mount a full frontal assault on the then corrupted gems, retake the kindergartens, and continue on with the colonization plan. You would ultimately end the rebellion, probably kill a good portion of the enemy soldiers, and what few you kept would be enslaved to be used as weapons of a future war. But another theory states that it's what Lion's gem would be should he ever be poofed. And while that sounds interesting, we don't really have anything else to compare it to. By that I mean, we see Lion's pocket dimension, and we know just from the episode Mirror Gem that Pearl has a pocket dimension in which she stores the lapis lazuli mirror. But we never see the inside of it, so we can't really compare it. So, yeah. Kind of at a loss here. But I want to lean on the weapon side just because it would be so dangerous. Or perhaps it's an entirely different character that Rose helped create and or had associations with and purposely bubbled them through in Lion's pocket dimension because too dangerous. I don't know. Leave your thoughts and comments in the comments box below, and I'll see you next time. Peace. Please, if you would, go head over to this channel here. I cannot speak the praises of the creator of the title cards that I use enough, or the composer who created the soundtrack for them. I absolutely love it. In fact, I wish they would update it to that it's a little more current, at least to Stephen Bomb 4. I suspect at some point near the future we're going to get some new title cards, but yeah, link is annotated right here, so go click on it, give their channel a subscription. They do other title cards. Peace out.